Hey guys, welcome to DIY Crafts.
In this video, I'm going to show you a step-by-step pattern of making this crochet 3D flower applique suitable for caps or handbags. So let's get started. For this I am using a 4-ply yarn with a crochet hook of size 3 mm. Now let's begin with a slip knot. Now make chain 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now make a slip stitch into the first stitch to form a ring. If you want, you can also use a magic ring as well. Now make chain 3. In this, first chain 2 acts as a DC and one last chain is a chain stitch gap. Now make one DC into the center. Now make chain 1 to give the chain 1 gap and again make it DC. Likewise, continue to make DC and chain 1 until you have 10 DCs in the center, including the first chain 2. Just a DC and a chain 1 and complete it with a chain 1 to have that last chain 1 gap. And now make a slip stitch into the second chain in the first chain 3. This completes your first row with 10 DCs and 10 chain 1 gaps. Now let's start making round 2. For this, begin with chain 1 and make one single stitch into the first stitch. Now into the chain 1 gap, make 2 single crochet stitches. Again make one single stitch over the previous DC and 2 single stitches into the chain 1 gap. Now continue to make one single stitch over DC and one increase in chain 1 gap throughout the row until you reach the starting point. So by the end of the second row, you will have a total of 30 stitches. So here I have done the last increase. That's the second stitch, and now making a slip stitch into the first stitch, and this completes my second row. Now let's start the pattern for making 3D flower. Just observe carefully. Make chain 2. Now in the next 2 stitches we are going to make DCs. That's first DC, and then in the next stitch making the second DC. Now we are going to make a puff stitch over this first 2 DCs. Observe carefully. Yarn over, pull a loop out of the 2 DCs, again yarn over and pull out the second loop, yarn over, third one, yarn over, fourth loop, yarn over, 5, yarn over and 6th loop. Now we have 12 loops on the hook. Now yarn over and come through the first 2 loops on the hook. Now yarn over and come through the next 3 loops. Observe carefully. We are coming out through each and every stitch one at a time. Again the next 3 loops. Again yarn over and come through the next 3 loops. Now yarn over and come through the next 3 loops, the last 3 loops, and finally you will have 2 loops on the hook. Now yarn over and come through the last 2 loops. Total we will have 7 stitches over all the 6 puffs. So now chain 3 and then make a slip stitch into the next stitch and the base, at the second row. That's the slip stitch. Now this completes the first petal of our 3D flower. Now make chain 2. This is the second petal. Now make a DC over the next 2 stitches. Again we are going to make a second petal across these 2 DCs. Again yarn over and pull up the loops for 6 times, just like the previous time. Second, this is the third one. 4, yarn over, 5 and 6. Now yarn over and come through the first 2 loops. That's the first one. Second, third, fourth, fifth, 6. Just carefully come through the stitches. That's the 6th one. And finally we have 2 loops on the hook, and that's the 7th one. Now chain 3, and this completes your second petal. Now make a slip stitch into the next stitch. Again chain 2, and let's start making the third petal. I think by this time you have got the hang of the pattern. Now repeat this pattern throughout the row until you have got a total of 10 petals. Here I am making the last petal. That's a total of 6 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 3, again 3, 3, 3, last 3, and finally we have last 2 to form the last stitch. Again chain 3 and make a slip stitch into the first stitch where we have made the first chain 2. Make a slip stitch over there. Now chain 1 and trim the excess thread, and if you wanted to attach it immediately, you can pull over a long tail end to attach it to the base of any of your projects. Now we are going to weave in the ends using a yarn needle. Just insert the needle through the nearby stitches to and fro for few times and to secure the ends, and then trim the excess thread. And that's it. Our cute crochet 3D flower applique is ready to decorate your favorite crochet projects. Look at the beautiful texture of the flower. I hope you all enjoyed watching this tutorial. Do give this pattern a try and let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. See you all in the next video.
Thank you for watching. Please like the video, share it and subscribe to DIY Crafts.